you are an HR journalist, or if you have just started your career, or if you are a manager HR, or you are in your midlife career confusion and you would like to become the next chief human resource officer or the chief people officer or a chief happiness officer, this episode is exactly made for you. So continue watching this episode and I'll take you to the journey of how you can make your HR journalist career to become the next CHRO or a chief people officer or a chief happiness officer. Welcome back to the first episode of Global from the Boston International Institute of Certification and Assessments. And this series is titled as the Global Career Strategist. Let us see today what all are the basic skills that an HR journalist has or should. These are the 12 people skills that makes or that will make an HR journalist one of the most successful professional to become the next chief human resource officer or a chief people officer. Number 1, communication. Number 2, collaboration. Number 3, situational decision making. Number 4, analytics. Number 5, business acumen. Number 6, coaching. Number 7, intercultural and language skills. Number 8, labor laws and compliances. Number 9, the person must have all the HR skills. That means must have the domain knowledge of all the HR functions. And then lastly but not the least, must have the knowledge of all the technical capabilities of human resource management system. Let's see. And let's take a self-evaluation process. A self-evaluation process will help us to understand that if you are a specialist, if you have just begun your career, if you are a HR journalist or in 5 or 6 years of experience, or you are in around 10, 12 years of experience, that how you can hone your HR professional career to become the next CHRO or next chief people officer or a chief happiness officer. Number 1, each of these chief people officer or chief happiness officer, they have the complete knowledge of entire HR functions. Number 2, they never shy away from the financial numbers, be it analytics, be it business numbers, be it commercial understanding. They got their hands dirty in each of these numbers. Number 3, they like leading their project, HR assignments, and the HR function. And lastly, but not the least, is if you enjoy troubleshooting, if you enjoy resolving the troubles and providing the solution and getting that insight with the help of all those tools and methodologies, then I can say that you are an HR generalist, or you can become with these skills an HR generalist. These are the 5 steps to become a successful HR journalist. In case you are a specialist, in case you have just commenced your career, or you don't know how to create your career path to become the HR journalist and to become the next CHRO or a chief people officer or chief happiness officer, do this 5 things. Number 1, mastery all the HR functions. I will tell you in more detail how to do that. Number 2, get professional certification. Get professional certification, the global certifications, which will help you to create your brand, your image. Number 3, create your analytics ability. Get those skill set. Acquire those skills wherein you can use the analytics to make the decisions. Number 4, strengthen your financial and operational expertise in terms of understanding the business, understanding the operation. Spend more and more time in the shop floor with the business people, with the sales people, with your people who are the frontline people. Number 5, build your professional network and create your personal branding. In case you are a specialist, and you want to become the HR generalist, I have these 3 steps for you. With these 3 steps, you can become the next HR journalist and become ready to take on the bigger roles like HR director, VP HR, senior VP HR, and further to the C-suite level, chief people officer, chief happiness officer, or the chief human resource officer. Number 1, collaborate. Share and spend your more time. If you are a HR specialist, say you are an L&D specialist, you are a talent management specialist, try to give your time to your colleague if he is leading or handling other project. Get those acumen, get those understanding of all those HR functions. Number 2, research on what all makes each HR function successful. Imbibe those skills. Try, if you get an opportunity, try to lead any of the functions. In case if the person is absent, take on these roles to sharpen your skills. Last and not the least is rotate your job. Volunteer in your organization. If you are a CMD specialist, ask for, in case if the incumbent is not there, if he has gone on leave, ask him that you would like to officiate as a talent management head, or an analytics head, or a sourcing head, or OD head. If you are able to do these 3 steps, I can assure you that you will be able to craft yourself into the next HR leader, and you can create your own career path to become the chief people officer, chief happiness officer, or the chief human resource officer. If your profile to fit into the next chief human resource officer or a chief people officer or chief happiness officer. If you are beginning your career, you can start your career from the HR executive, which is approximately 1 to 5 years of experience. And in this role, you will be more dealing with the operational matters. Second is take on, in the next 6 to 8 years of your career profile or progression, take on the managerial HR role. See those challenges. It could be assistant manager HR, deputy manager HR, or manager HR. Next, in 9 to 14 years of experience, become the deputy head of HR. Seek the assignments, showcase your abilities that yes, you can take on additional responsibility and become the next head of HR. These designations will be like AGM HR, it will be Assistant Director HR, AVP HR. In next 15 to 20 years of your next career, craft yourself for the C-suite leadership roles, which is like a GM HR, HR Director, Senior VP HR, Chief People Officer, Chief Happiness Officer, likewise. Let me give you a little bit more glimpse now into the various job options what you have as an HR generalist. If you are in any of the location or the place where I have shown here in the chart, you can create your own career path, you can create your own career ladder. Nobody is going to handhold you. It is you who has to create your own career path to become the next Chief Human Resource Officer, Chief People Officer, or a Chief Happiness Officer. Number one, the HR generalists are spread in Senior HR Officer or HR Officer. Number two, HR Executive or a Senior HR Executive. Number three, Assistant Manager and a Deputy Manager. Number four, HR Manager. Number five, Senior HR Manager. Number six, Assistant Vice President, AGM, Assistant Director role. By this time, you would have started shedding off your operational skin and you have started taking the strategic role. And from there, you have the HR head. HR head in some of the organizations lead the strategy and also operations. And by the time you cross AGM, AVP or Assistant Director roles, you are fit to lead small or a medium enterprise. After that, you can take on the director or a senior director role. By this time, you have started imbibing the entire strategy and you are planning to take on the C-suite role. After that, you're the general manager or a senior general manager role. By this time, you have started working with all the business heads. You have started working with the strategy team. You have started cascading the strategy now all across your organization. The next role is Vice President, Senior Vice President, and Executive Director HR. These are the guys who are creating a next roadmap for an organization. You collaborate with not only the business heads, but you also collaborate with the C-suite leadership team, and also you work at times or officiate as the next CHRO or acting CHRO, acting Chief People Officer, or acting Chief Happiness Officer. And the last is the pinnacle and the peak of your career is the Chief Human Resource Officer, Chief People Officer, or a Chief Happiness Officer. Now I spoke to you about you can do few things to enhance your ability by creating a brand of yourself, and you can do that by earning the Global HR certification. Let me give you a glimpse of some of the Global HR certification which are available across the globe. We have got a CIPD, Chartered Institute of Personal Development. They have the training certificates and the professional certification. Please do not get confused between both. Training certificates are the vocational certificates. In case if you have not acquired a formal education, only go for these training certificates. Otherwise, you should go for the professional certification or a professional membership certificate of CIPD, which are Associate, Chartered Member, and Chartered Fellow. Next, HRCI, one of the oldest institutions of US with more than 40 years of experience, 4 decades of experience in launching, managing, testing the global certifications. They have certifications like GPHR, Global Professional in Human Resource. They've got the SPHR, Strategic Professional in Human Resource. They've got a PHR, Professional in Human Resource. And they've got APHR, APHRI also. APHRI is for the beginners. If you have just started your career, if you are in the college, if you plan to become the next HR professional, and if you want to craft your role, and your career to become the chief HR or a chief people officer or chief happiness officer, you can start with the APHRI certification. Then you have got SHRM, SHRM. We all know that. SHRM was the body which was used to work closely with the HRCI. It used to be the HRCI body for organizing conferences, seminars, and publishing the books. But now of late, they have also started their own certification, which is SHRM, Senior Certified Professional SCP and CP. You can earn the certifications. Also, if you feel like, and if you don't want to go for HRC, you can also go for SHRM. And then you have got AHRI. The AHRI is from Australia and it has got limitation in terms of the geography. I'll be taking a separate LinkedIn live voice on all these certifications in the due course of time as we go ahead by talking after finishing this talk on HR Generalist. I'll be taking on the specialist and then what all are the criteria for you to become successful as Chief Human Resource Officer, Chief People Officer, or a Chief Happiness Officer. So now coming back to the Australian Human Resource Institute, they have got the similar certification like CIPD, and sometimes CIPD certification and AHRI certifications are interchangeable. If you are planning to migrate to Australia, please take on these certifications. It will help you to land in Australia with a job, or you can hit Australia with a job and you can start your next career immediately. The next is the HRPA. HRPA certification is from Canada. This has got limitation in terms of geography. This certification, it has got two certifications, CHRM and CHRP, but these certifications have a very limitations in the Canada only. The next is ATD. ATD certification is only for the learning and development professionals. If you have, then you should go for this certification. It used to have a CPLP certification. They introduced another certification for the ATD. The last certification if you want to go and earn these certifications, my suggestion is you should go for these steps. Number one, go for a career counseling. Career counseling for HR certification. Go for a career counseling with a person who has immense years of experience, he's a large years of experience, and he has mentored, managed the big HR names and who can guide you for the right HR certification, be it a CIPD, SHRM, HRCI, AHRI, HRPA, ATD, or GHSCM. Seek his coaching and guidance. He will not only guide you to earn this certification, but will also open the door for you for the next best opportunity which is available as per your career aspirations. Next is prepare for your examination, prepare for your assessment to earn these certifications. And lastly, once you have got certified, use these certifications not only to brand yourself or to take on the next role, but also to create your career path. This was today's very short talk I wanted to do with you, and this is our part of our next initiative, which is Global Career Strategist series of talk, wherein I will be talking about all the functions of HR, HR Generalist, C&B, compensation benefit or a total reward, organization development and change, talent management, employee relation, sourcing, and I'll be talking about talent management. I'll be talking about each of these specialist job roles and how to become specialist in these job roles. And in our final talk in this HR career, as a part of the Global Career Strategist, we'll be talking and I'll be presenting the entire role of the Chief Human Resource Officer, Chief People Officer, Chief Happiness Officer, how to earn these coveted designations or a post, and how to create your career ladder, and how to make yourself the most successful C-suite HR leader in the world. Now, if you have any question, I'm happy to take on these questions, and I'll be very, very happy to give you an answer to this question. I was supposed to give a talk for the 20 minutes. I think so. I've finished my talk. In case if you have any question, if you have any queries, and if you would like to ask any question to me with regard to HR generalist or a specialist career, or any of the specialist career, be it a total reward, be it talent management, be it the OD, be it your sourcing, be it a talent management, be it the employee relation, I'll be more than happy to answer your question or queries. One of the users asked when we can get into an online meeting with you, sir. You are most welcome. You can send me a message in my LinkedIn, or if you are in social media, you can watch us on YouTube, you can watch us on Twitter, you can watch us on Facebook. Please do send your message, and me or my team will be able to connect with you, and we'll try to help you to give you whatever advice in my capacity. If you are aspiring to become a next HR manager, you want to trying to get a career break in HR, if you are trying to become next HR director, if you're trying to become a next CHRO, it'll be our pleasure to help you, to guide you to your desired destinations. Now, I've got one question. What are the good certification for compensation benefit? There are each of these certification institute, they have come out with the CNB certification program, be it the CIPD, be it the SHRM, be it the HRCI. If you want about the specific details, please send me your questions in my LinkedIn, and I will send you the detailed answer about which certification you should go, which certification has the highest credibility in the market, and which certification will help you to get the leverage. With this, I conclude my today's live wire talk on Global Career Strategist for HR Generalist, how to build your career as an HR generalist. Thank you so much, and see you next time.